Chris Watts infamously pleaded guilty to murdering his pregnant wife and their 2 young daughters in August 2018. Since then, the story has garnered international attention. These are the most bizarre things about the chilling case. While to the outside world, Chris and Shanann Watts appeared to have a perfect marriage, their relationship suddenly changed in the weeks leading up to the murders, and Shanann had grown suspicious of her husband. Documents released by the Weld County District Attorney's Office, on August 7, 2018, Shanann texted one of her friends, "Chris told me last night he's scared to death about this 3rd baby, and he's happy with just Bella and Celeste, and doesn't want another baby. He has changed. I don't know who he is." It would seem that Chris's behavior towards Shanann became noticeably different, as she also told her friend via text, "I told him last night I don't feel safe with him after what he said about the baby." Tragically, less than a week later, Shanann's sense was absolutely correct. Chris did the unthinkable to his family and attempted to cover up the crime by disposing of the bodies at a remote oil field location owned by his employer. During an interview on 2020, Shanann's mother said that she was aware of the change in her son-in-law. Per ABC News, her daughter had told her that the transformation happened over the course of a few weeks, maybe a month. Prior to this personality change, Chris was reportedly a model husband, as Shanann's mom revealed.
He never raised his hand, voice, never cursed at her.
Sadly, no one could know that Chris' transformation would turn deadly. While Googling romance advice isn't necessarily bizarre, the fact that Chris Watts was searching for dating tips while married to Shanann Watts is troubling. While Chris reportedly met Nicole Kessinger, the coworker he would begin an affair with, in June 2018, the romance seemed to have escalated quickly by the following month. According to People, prosecutors in the case revealed that on July 25th, Chris had Googled "when to say I love you" for the first time in a new relationship. Chris Googled this phrase less than 3 weeks before he murdered his wife, 2 daughters, and unborn son. Obviously, with a Google search like this, it appears that the married man was moving quickly with Kessinger and was ready to take their relationship to the next level. As noted by People, prosecutors have cited Watts' desire for a fresh start with his mistress, coworker Nicole Kessinger, 30, as his motive in the killings. Watts and his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, reportedly met in June 2018 at work. It wasn't long before Kessinger was also turning to Google for romance advice. In her only interview following Chris' arrest, Kessinger told the Denver Post, "We had just met. I barely knew him." However, court documents told a different story. As People reported, Kessinger spent over 2 hours searching Google for wedding dresses just 9 days before Chris killed his wife and 2 daughters. Of course, searching for wedding dresses isn't a crime by any means, but Kessinger's search history suggested that she was incredibly serious about her relationship with Chris and was already thinking about a future with the man she'd allegedly only been dating for approximately 6 weeks. It's also alleged that Kessinger believed that Chris was single when they started dating. By the Denver Post, Watts said he was separated and at the end of divorce proceedings, Kessinger said. However, Kessinger's search history told a slightly different story. Per People, on July 24th, Kessinger Google searched the phrase, "Man I'm having an affair with says he will leave his wife." Her search suggested that she may have known that Chris was yet to split from Shanann and was hoping that he would leave his spouse to be with her. In the digital age, it's difficult to conceal information, but Chris Watts found an unusual way to store content he received from his mistress, Nicole Kessinger. Per the discovery documents released by the Weld County District Attorney's Office, Watts had a secret calculator application uploaded to his personal phone. This application, by all appearances, is an operable calculator. When the user enters a secret passcode, the application reveals its true purpose, a concealed storage device for photographs, videos, contacts, even a private browser. Investigators discovered a plethora of hidden photos and messages in the app on Chris's phone, and they noted in the discovery documents, "I'm certain Watts communicated far more with Kessinger than is reflected in his phone data, perhaps facilitated through the secret calculator application." It became apparent he was receiving assorted images of Kessinger, which he then stashed in that application to prevent Shanann from ever seeing them. Basically, it would appear that Chris was living a double life before he murdered his wife and children. When Shanann Watts was killed on August 13th, 2018, she'd just returned from a business trip in the early hours of the morning. Chris Watts had spent the weekend with their daughters, Celeste and Bella, and according to him, they'd had a rather normal time together at home. According to documents released by the Weld County District Attorney's Office, on Sunday, August 12th, 2018, he took his girls to a birthday party. There was a mini pool at the birthday party and his girls had an epic time. They drove back home after the party and he gave his girls a shower and put them to bed. Chris also revealed to investigators that earlier in the morning, after watching some television, he took the girls to Target to shop for a birthday gift, and when they got home from running the errand, they ate leftover pizza for lunch. By all accounts, Chris had spent a pretty regular weekend with his 2 daughters, and there seemed to be no indication of his deviant plan just hours later. In hindsight, Chris's calm behavior during these events was extremely chilling. Watts initially denied murdering his pregnant wife and their children. It later came out that he'd revealed to a coworker his plans to visit the remote oil field in Frederick, Colorado, where his family's bodies would later be found. According to the official case documents, on Sunday, August 12th, 2018, at around 5 p.m., Chris texted a coworker in reference to the oil field and wrote, "I'm gonna go straight out there from my house in the morning." When the coworker responded that they had also been planning to visit the site, Chris joked, "I can go out there though. No sense in both of us going out there, lol." By telling a coworker that he'd be visiting the site early on that Monday morning to complete some checks, many people believed that Chris may have premeditated his actions on that fateful August day. After Chris Watts pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in November 2018, his parents gave an interview to ABC 11 defending their son. Chris's mother, Cindy Watts, said of her son's marriage to Shanann Watts, "It was a very hard relationship. It was a very hard relationship with Shanann as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't do anything right." Parents also suggested that it was his marriage to Shanann that changed him. His mom said, he was in sports from when he was 5 until 17 years old. There's not one person you can talk to that will say anything about this kid. He was normal, he didn't have a temper, he was just easygoing like his dad. He's not a monster. Meanwhile, Chris's dad, Ronnie Watts, also defended his son to ABC 11 and explained, it's hard for me to believe that he would hurt them girls no matter what. The story he told me that night, I believed it. The way he looked at me, the way he was crying, I believed it.
If he did it all, I can live with it. If he didn't, I want him to fight for it.
Ronnie is referring to the initial story that Chris gave to the police, claiming that he only killed Shanann after discovering that she'd murdered their 2 daughters. However, this was, of course, later revealed to be untrue. From prison, Chris Watts reportedly corresponded with author Sherilyn Cadle in a series of letters, phone calls, and meetings, the details of which she subsequently published in the 2019 book Letters from Christopher, The Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders. Speaking with the Daily Mail, Cadle claimed that Chris had told her, if I had not met Nicki, I would never have killed my family. All I could feel was now I was free to be with Nicki. Feelings of my love for her was overcoming me. I felt no remorse. According to the author, Chris also revealed, the darkness inside of me had won. It was still in me though. I thought maybe permanently. I felt evil, swallowed up by this thing inside of me. I felt like I could kill anything and be justified for doing it. Of Chris's mistress, Cadle said, Christopher says he loved her like he has never loved anyone else before.
That's why I got so emotional right there.
Chris Watts' murders discovered that he had looked up the lyrics to the Metallica song Battery per the Weld County District Attorney's Office's discovery documents, shortly after he committed the horrific act. One of the reasons then that some people speculated that Chris' mistress, Nicole Kessinger, might have allegedly been involved in the murders was that she'd sent him a text soon after the killings had taken place. As author Sherilyn Cadle wrote in her book, Letters from Christopher, The Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders, after Christopher killed his family and drove away, Nicki texted him to look up the song by Metallica band called Battery. I challenge you to look up the full lyrics of this song. I find it interesting that we should believe it's only a coincidence. A few specific lines that are troubling include, smashing through the boundaries, lunacy has found me, cannot stop the battery, pounding out aggression, turns into obsession, cannot kill the battery, cannot kill the family, battery is found in me. On August 15, 2018, less than a week after his wife and daughters disappeared, Chris Watts failed a polygraph test. Tammy Lee, an investigator in the case, conducted the test, and as reported by the Tab, Chris Watts didn't just fail his polygraph test, he scored shockingly low.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach, and when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill.
After failing the test, Chris confessed to a version of the truth, which included him alleging that he'd only murdered his wife, Shanann Watts, after she supposedly smothered their 2 daughters. According to iNews, he claimed that she had killed their 2 girls in response to his request for a divorce, and said he had killed her in anger after she did this. However, he later confessed to strangling his wife during a confrontation over the revelations of his affair. Presumably to save face after failing the polygraph test, Chris concocted a story about what happened to his family, which painted him as somewhat of a victim in the proceedings. However, it was later revealed that Chris killed Shanann first and didn't murder their daughters, Celeste and Bella, until he'd driven to the oil site where their bodies were found. While Watts' mistress has maintained that she believed he was separated from his wife when they met, police discovered a strange piece of information on Kessinger's mobile phone. According to the discovery documents compiled by investigators, data from Kessinger's phone showed that she'd Googled Shanann Watts' name on September 1st, 2017, almost a full year before she started an affair with Chris. In an interview with Crime Online, Weld County District Attorney Michael Rourke said, "The dates to which you are referring, in 2017, where it appears she Googled or otherwise searched Shanann, was data that came off her phone." Nicole Kessinger told us that she met and started the relationship with the defendant in 2018. So where that anomaly in the data comes from, I don't know the answer to it. Indeed, the fact that Kessinger reportedly Googled Chris' wife's name in September 2017 seemingly contradicts her own version of events. As the Denver Post, with whom Kessinger gave her only press interview, later reported, one day in the middle of June 2018, he walked into her office to introduce himself. Per Kessinger's account to the outlet, Watts told her that he had 2 daughters, and after Kessinger asked, Watts said he was separated and at the end of divorce proceedings, she said,
"This shocked me just as much as I think it shocked the rest of the world."
As well as Googling wedding dresses and the name of Chris Watts' wife, Kessinger also searched online for Amber Frey, the infamous mistress in another high-profile murder case. Frey dated Scott Peterson, who was married. Frey believed that Peterson was single when she met him. Lacey Peterson was 8 months pregnant when she disappeared on Christmas Eve in 2002, and it wasn't until April 2003 that the bodies of Lacey and her unborn child were found. Per the Chris Watts case's discovery documents, Kessinger searched the internet on topics related to Amber Frey. Her searches included Frey's book deal, her net worth, and did people hate Amber Frey. These searches reportedly took place on August 18, 2018, 3 days after Chris confessed to murdering his family. Presumably, Kessinger may have been concerned about what the public perception would be once it was revealed that she was the mistress of a convicted murderer. However, the fact that she Googled Frey's net worth and book deal might also suggest that she may have been hoping to capitalize on her situation. Of course, this is all speculation, and it should be noted that Kessinger voluntarily spoke with police on August 15th, the same day that Chris was arrested. As Kessinger later told the Denver Post, "I just wanted to help. With a pregnant woman and 2 children missing, I was going to do anything that I could." On February 18, 2019, Chris Watts sat down for a 5-hour interview with the Frederick Police Department, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI, the audio of which was released to the public. A number of telling revelations during the interview, and he spoke about his former mistress, Nicole. As reported by Oxygen, Chris said, "I'm not sure what you, Nicole, went through afterward. If you had like counseling, if you're in a different state, if you had to leave everything behind." When the investigators asked Chris if he was hoping to speak to Kessinger one day, he replied, "Maybe once, just to say, I'm sorry this all happened." However, Chris's attorney reportedly attempted to contact Kessinger on his behalf, but she refused. During the same interview, Chris also emotionally suggested that if he hadn't begun an affair, he might not have become dissatisfied with his marriage to Shanann Watts. "If I never met Kessinger, would I have ever thought our relationship was bad? Probably not. I never thought I would have strayed away from Shanann." Many people have watched the Netflix documentary American Murder, The Family Next Door, which pieces together all the events leading up to the crimes. and it would seem that one eagle-eyed viewer of the documentary believed they'd spotted something strange in the background of one video clip. According to the Daily Mail, footage from a police officer's body camera has been getting attention because it appears to show a little girl playing inside the Watts home after Chris' wife and daughters were reported missing. As reported by the site, Arthur Kant took to YouTube to suggest that he'd spotted a ghost in the body cam footage and asked viewers to consider whether it was an apparition of one of Chris' murdered daughters. However, other viewers reportedly suggested that, rather than a ghost, the young girl was simply the daughter of Shanann's friend, Nicole Atkinson, who alerted police when Shanann missed a doctor's appointment and failed to reply to any text messages or phone calls that morning. Atkinson joined police in the house in the search for Shanann, and it seems likely that her children could have been present too. However, as the Daily Mail reported, despite the logical explanation, a few people insisted that